Remember, this entire manga and every manga on this channel is hand-drawn by myself, and now you too can learn exactly how to make your own viral Dragon Ball mangas at www.makemanga.com, where you can learn directly from me. My mangas have got me on TV, on newspapers, and even earned me over $60,000 a month on Patreon alone. And now, you can click the link in the description and pinned comment of this video and do it yourself. You only need to see the website to see just how many thousands of you are taking this opportunity right now. And don't forget also, the next video to this Ultra Vegito series has already been made and is live now on my Patreon right now for over 4,500 of you incredible fans to watch after this. Again, links are in the pinned comment and description. Enjoy.
This will be your atonement. Win for your life. Zeus! So our story continues with the shock bombshell dropped by the leader of the Elder Gods, Zeus, proclaiming that the tournament of the multiverses will go ahead, but under the condition that if Akabel or Cronoa lose, they will lose their lives and the lives of their multiverses too. Father, wait! But just as this would be revealed, Castiel, being the doting younger brother he is, would fragrantly run over to Zeus and say, "You are joking, right, Father? This is too much. Both Akabel and Cronoa are so vital to the balance of power in all our multiverses, not just theirs. Cronoa herself controls time itself. Please think. If they came last, it would be reasonable. But having to win against you as well, it is an impossible task." But suddenly, in an instant transformation, the Elder God would return to his prime Zeus state, surrounded in that same dangerously powerful yellow lightning.
I think if you say any more, I may need to give you the same punishment.
Father! As immediately rising up, his height appearing double of Castiel's, towering over, his aura alone would silence any more conversation. I apologize, Father! Immediately leading to even an elder god like Castiel losing energy in his shaking with fear legs, falling to the ground by his backside, as staring up, he could only panic and apologize profusely to the one known as the strongest elder god of all times. Castiel, be quiet! You'll only get yourself killed. But just as Prime Zeus would begin stepping forward to Castiel, Akabel would yell out, trying to defuse things. Looks like you have some respect for family after all. And it would seem like it would work, as Zeus would then power down again and turn his back on them. But with a look back, Zeus would have one final cold line for his eldest son, saying, "I will announce when the tournament is ready in my own time. Stay ready, the both of you." Father! As just like that, Zeus, who had made such a stunning arrival that caught the attention of all, would stealthily disappear, not to be seen again by his own sons until the day of the big tournament. have to win, or I die. But when his father would leave, it would appear as if a part of Akobel himself had left also, as completely losing the energy in his body. As realization would come of his situation, Akobel the Archangel would fall to his knees abruptly. And in his mind, in complete darkness, he would be all alone, muttering away, "I'm alive. But why does it feel like death would have been better? A tournament against Zeus, against Father himself. Damn this! Damn everything! Out of the frying pan and into the fire! This is no situation for an elder god to be in! How dare he threaten me like this? That old man! I will win with my creations and with that weak kid! But as Akobel would grunt and grumble in anger, in the distance, his bastard son Lucif would just watch on bemused. His whole view of his all-powerful father being shattered after Zeus's appearance, as he would just mutter, "Father, am I just a weak kid to you?" But it would be at this point the elder gods would now start making their move, almost like a group of friends about to make their departure. But these wouldn't quite be friends, as Poseidon would be clear to make his stance known while Akobel was down, saying, "Serves you right. On the floor is where you belong, Akobel. As much as I'd have loved to see Zeus destroy you physically here, I think the damage he's done to your ego in front of us all is enough. You have long believed yourself to be the strongest and best among us in all ways, but this tournament will separate the quality from the trash. Our creations will do the talking, but I'm afraid none will surpass the warriors I have been collecting and training this entire time. Time is ticking for you, so my apologies in advance. I will be the one to win this." As behind the muscular elder god, silhouettes of his truly fearsome trio would appear. Kratos, Asura, and the great Akuma. Before just like that, as fast as Zeus, he too would vanish away. And it would be at this point, Hera would then say, "You and Cronoa have both stolen from my multiverse, so I think the answer is already clear. Who is the greatest creator? There was a reason I never saw myself as the weakest among you all, and you will all see soon why. Keep those two worms. You have no idea what else I have coming. See you at the tournament, dead elder god walking." As he too would then vanish. Guess it's just me now. As now finally, the calculative Hades would have his turn, giving a smile and a wink as he would simply let out, "Data suggests I'm not going to win. None of us will against Zeus, but I'll give it my best shot. Should be fun. Sorry for the bad news, Akobel, but I'll be sure to carry on your legacy. See ya!" As with that quite tone-deaf response, the youngest god would then disappear too, leaving only the brothers behind. And with this, Castiel would just give out a desperate sigh, looking to the ground, stressed and defeated mentally, as he would whisper, "Brother, it could have gone worse, I suppose. I can tell you now, I will not be aiming to win. I will help your team if anything. Perhaps maybe then we can win." Huh? Akubel? But despite Castiel's worries, an admission of future collusion, in the distance, he'd only begin hearing a subtle laughter, and from the direction of his brother. What am I even worried about? All I have to do is win. And beat who? These weaklings who aren't even fit to clean the dirt under my shoes. You'll see what kind of warriors I'll bring. Zeus will not be ready. As with a completely overconfident laughter and a manic look on his face, unlike the Archangel, it would seem Akubel knew something we all did not. But regardless, it wouldn't be long before the scene would change to something more serene, as we would see Vegito, Whis, and the elder god Cronoa walking down a mysterious hallway, where Vegito would turn to his former friend as Whis would explain, "So, word has finally come in. The leader of the elder gods, Zeus, has officially announced the confirmation of the tournament. It will be happening. We just don't know when. More than likely it will be sooner rather than later, however. Our time to train will be limited. But luckily, with the elder god of time Cronoa on our side, time, as you can imagine, will never be an issue." As Cronoa would then butt in, Yes, you'll be more than ready. The reward will be great if you win. All your dreams will come true. But just know, the punishment for losing will be just as great. Death to us all.
Huh? Yeah, about that. Why don't you seem too worried about that?
As pausing for a moment, even Vegito would freeze from how high the stakes were. But with her eyes glowing that mysterious red again, Cronoa would just confidently twerp back. What is there to be scared of? You're not going to lose, are you, Mr. God Killer?
Well, you're right about that.
As immediately as if catering directly to Vegito's ego, the Saiyan would smirk back cockily, but add,
"But it does seem pretty funny that you'd have so much faith after what you just saw of me. I need to get stronger and fast. Maybe this training of yours will be like any other, but then again, maybe you'll be relying on Whis or Hit to fill in the gaps."
Unfortunately, no. But looking down, the angel Whis would then be quick to disregard this, though, as he would explain, Hit and I are Lady Cronoa's chosen disciples. We exist only to serve and learn her teachings surrounding time, but not to fight on her behalf. Besides, both of us are leagues weaker than you, Vegito-san. You forget, I could only surpass you with Lady Cronoa's powers amplifying me. Such help would not be allowed in the tournament. Your team will instead be made up of warriors you pick.
What now? Warriors I pick? How? Where?
As once again stopping right in his tracks, this new piece of info would have the God Killer stumped, as Cronoa and Whis would just walk on, all smiles. But without answering the Saiyan, the trio would reach a set of large black doors, adorned with golden fixtures, with Cronoa just under her breath saying, we're here. Be careful with what's in here, okay, my dear? As the Elder God would then wave her hand, and as if the door had sensed her, both parts would immediately begin separating. And lo and behold, when the door would open, it would open to what seemed like an infinite expanse of darkness, but with thousands, if not millions of glowing scrolls as far as the eye could see, all levitating in the air, with the God Killer just reacting. What are those things? Cronoa, extending out her hand, however, would say, these things, these are my babies, and you will become very familiar with them. As she would then reach out and grab one at random.
Babies? I know you gods are strange, but be real. It looks like a scroll.
Very observant, young man. These are known as time scrolls. Each one contains an interesting timeline within my multiverse. Not as interesting as your timeline, of course, but interesting nonetheless. Over the centuries, I've handpicked thousands, and it will be in each of these your future team will be.
Oh, great! That doesn't sound like it will be annoying at all!
But despite his reservations, Vegito would promptly then move forward, standing now in the midst of all of them spoiled for choice.
This one!
Before finally, the God Killer would make his decision. Holding it in his right hand as he would comment,
this is definitely no normal scroll. I can sense so many energy signatures from just holding it. This is what that woman can do, huh? All these lives at the whim of her finger.
And with that said, Vegito would begin unraveling the scroll without any input from Cronoa.
Wait, is this? It looks just like...
But before he would know it, a strange vortex of energy would begin emanating straight out of the scroll and all over Vegito's torso.
Cronoa! Was this a trick?
As the God Killer would now be completely lost in the light, his whole body seemingly losing all its color. Until in a flash, Vegito would disappear from the sights of Cronoa and Whis, but neither would be surprised. The scene then switching somewhere in space, a multiverse unlike the one we knew. As with a thud, Vegito's foot would finally touch the ground, somewhere clearly different to before.
What did she just do? She sent me away! Where?
As suddenly Vegito would now be all alone on a strange new planet. Yellow grass all around as giant moons would adorn the entire sky. For a moment, he would look around, trying to sense some familiarity. But it would seem the minute he would arrive, he would already be unwelcome, as aiming perfectly at his chest, a red laser sight would appear from nowhere.
fast!
And of course, there would be no warning before right through Vegito's chest, the beam would fire. But even though the shots seemed to puncture a vital point, Vegito would not be reacting too much, as just like that, the wound would heal, a pink material swirling around to make it whole again.
Well, would you look at that? Boo's magic finally works once more.
As realizing now he had been reset back to his original self and ability, a dastardly grin would come back to Vegito. Got him. But as Vegito would be smiling, elsewhere a certain mystery sniper would be pleased with herself also. A young girl with black hair aiming away saying, I went right through his heart. Now to just watch him bleed out and confirm kill number 10,006. Wait, hold on a second. But as she would look closer at Vegito through her scope, she would soon notice that where she had fired and successfully penetrated her prey, the injury had completely healed. But before that shock could even rest, another big surprise was about to hit the young woman.
Knock knock, anyone there?
How are you? As instantaneously sensing and appearing where she was, the God Killer would grab the young woman by her hair and pull her head and neck up by force, looking deviously at the sniper as he would comment,
You're pretty heartless to kill a stranger the minute he arrives. You do this often? Allow me to show you the same courtesy.
But just before the God Killer was about to enact divine revenge on her, the sniper would have at least some tricks, instantly poofing away, revealing she was nothing more than a mere illusion.
Oh, not this again! No, it seems it's a little different this time.
As looking down at his cheek, he would notice yet another laser sight pointed at him until in an overwhelming show of red light beams, Vegito would now be covered by the sniper's laser sights in all directions and angles possible, all over his body.
This is going to be annoying, isn't it?
As in the very next page, we would find the God Killer in the most precarious of situations, with simply what looks like hundreds of clone snipers of the young girl all over, and all aiming perfectly at the stood still, vulnerable Vegito. I don't know who you are, but safe to say, target eliminated. 3, 2, 1, fire! As just like that, with an overconfident smile on her face, the young girl would cock back and fire simultaneously from all over her hundreds of clones at the exact same time, like the most coordinated of armies. But no sniper, especially the kind that Vegito had already experienced and analyzed the speed of, would catch Vegito off guard twice, no matter how many there were, as even in base, the God Killer would showcase his impressive reactions, speed and acrobatics, dodging each and every blast with ease. Eventually, then avoiding it altogether as he would jump high into the sky as the sniper shots would crash onto the ground.
Now it's my turn, and I'll be far more accurate than you, little girl.
As with a huge grin on his face, Vegito would suddenly grab onto his wrist, and within his left hand, a powerful bolt of pure lightning would emerge, coating it perfectly. The chirp of what seems like 1,000 birds would soar through the air. And immediately, as if needing to improve his eyesight now to use this strange new technique, Vegito would activate his Saiyan seraphim eyes, suddenly darting them in all directions like a true robot, detecting each and every position of every clone.
3, 2, 1!
As now shooting off, he'd ironically mirror the sniper, counting down quickly until... as brutally in merciless and violent fashion, using his hand as a makeshift blade in vastly faster and more theatric fashion than he ever did with his Godslayer blade, Vegito would cut through cleanly through the body of every clone, blood and guts spewing everywhere, as if these clones were a different kind made of real material. The whole way through showing a returning benevolent smile, as if the God Killer had missed times like this. His teeth bared as he would go through halls, leaving hundreds screaming in pain, erupting blood all through their bodies.
One left, the best for last.
As with a swift look backwards, he would already immediately see the final and real sniper left.
I'm coming!
As in one fell swoop, straight backwards with the most sadistic of looks, Vegito would then end his rampage, virtually eradicating the young girl's lower half as her torso flings into the air, leaking blood everywhere. Dead on the spot with not a peep of a reaction.
I needed that. The Elder God's realm was making me forget what I can really do.
As finished with his kills, despite having not recruited anyone, the God Killer would be all smiles. As now letting off a sigh and disengaging the electricity from his hand, a blood-soaked Vegito would stand pleased with himself, letting out...
Well, so much for interesting timelines. That weakling seems to be the strongest here. Not a single other power level is standing out. At this rate, I'm going to have to enter this tournament alone.
Don't lose faith that quickly, dear boy. But as Vegito would come to his premature conclusions, a portal would open behind him, and a familiar commanding voice would call out to him, a feminine foot coming forward. As it would be none other than the Elder God Cronoa, stepping foot into the mortal realm, as she would say, "You don't waste much time, do you? Poor Seed. She had a funny little story. Her entire family was killed by this world's most deadly marksman. A record 10,100 kills. Her aim was to surpass this, and then exact her revenge. She was so close, but I guess that story ends here."
Boring as hell. That's no life for a woman to live anyway. Glad I put her out of her misery. Now if only there was another to do the same to.
As Cronoa would respond, "Oh, maybe in the next timeline. Come, you have work to do." As on hearing that, suddenly, the same blue lightning would begin coating Vegito's left hand again abruptly, as he would then lift it up, and now sporting red seraphim eyes, staring forward at the Elder God, he would just say,
"You're right. I do have work to do."
As instantly taking his chance, he would jump straight at Cronoa, bridging the distance instantly with his new deadly attack, poised to leave her mutilated. Now only inches away from the goddess of time until... give you an inch, and you really do take a mile, don't you?
My body! She did it again!
But unfortunately for Vegito, with a swift smile and her own eyes glowing red, without as much as a hand movement, the God Killer would be left frozen in time, completely disabled with just a mere glance. As now the Elder God he tried to kill so foolishly would begin walking forward towards him, coming right to his face, and now placing a hand under his chin, as she would whisper, My, maybe it's because you're Hera's creation and not mine, but you sure do harbor such hate. I'd love for you to change that, at least for a while, because I can assure you, Vegito, there will never be a day where you stop being my toy. Not as long as I am not the new leader of the Elder Gods. So do me a favor and complete your mission first. As suddenly taking advantage of our hero in a huge display of her power and dominance over the Saiyan, she would have her way, kissing Vegito on the cheek, leaving the married man stunned, but totally powerless to do a thing about it. And at this moment, Vegito would be left speechless, as Cronoa, blushing with her eyes closed, would say, "Our first kiss. How romantic. Well, time to continue that mission of yours. I promise, this one will be more to your taste." As she would then pull out a new time scroll, glowing in her hand, before she would more or less shove it in Vegito's sight, saying, "The creature you will meet here will show you the difference between Hera's creations and the one of an Elder God far more talented than him. Enjoy!" As Cronoa would then open the scroll facing the God Killer before...
Wait! Ready?
As just like before, Vegito, with a stunned face, would be completely lost in a strange light.
Damn you, Cronoa!
And the result would be Vegito vanishing and reappearing yet again into another new strange area. But this one would not be as peaceful as the last, literally on fire, as plumes of smoke, ash and shards of flames would travel through the air.
What the hell happened to this place? I don't have a good feeling about this.
As eventually Vegito would rise, and looking around, seeing all the destruction, even he knew something was off, as he would comment,
"The atmosphere isn't normal here. There's nothing good. It all feels dark. Something must have been going on here for years at least for it to feel like this.
But when he would look at the ground, that is when he would get some clues. As strewn all over the floor by his feet would be bodies, but not just any bodies. Half biological, half robotic cadavers, as Vegito would just mutter,
"Androids? Who the hell destroyed all these?"
And looking closely, he would soon realize,
these look just as advanced as Dr. Giroux's best work. Whoever could slaughter armies of these has to be something else.
and it wouldn't be long before Vegito would immediately sense the presence of the perpetrator. As turning around, he would coldly then whisper,
"So, you must be who did this. What's wrong? Not a fan of toasters?"
As silently out of the flames, not bothered by them at all, a foot would emerge. As coming out would be an all-new foe. Powerful looking, red in skin color, extremely muscular. He would bear more than a passing resemblance to Piccolo or any Namekian at that. But from his red eyes alone, whatever this species was, he was on a totally different level of power. It seems Ultra Vegito may have finally found his first recruit.
But that was it for today's video, guys. If you made it this far, leave me a hashtag who in the comments down below and let me know just who or what this creation of Cronoa's is. Or just find out what happens right now on my Patreon, where you can see the full next video, fully voice acted, soundtracked and edited for you to enjoy, with over 4,500 plus other fans, as well as getting access to 250 plus other fan mangas too. It's the deal of the century.